Buonasera. Allora, solo per oggi in maniera eccezionale voi starete qui sopra sotto di me, comparirete senza sotto uno sfondo. Fa niente. Siamo tornati su Storia, siete tranquilli che sentirete tutta la cosa. Buonasera, buonasera. Sarete qui sopra di me, qua sotto di me. E insieme giocheremo, ovviamente, finalmente, al nostro bellissimo e amatissimo Stories, anche perché adesso abbiamo
The clouds
scoperto
parted over the Isles of Boreas.
una nuova verità.
It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing.
Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Ok, allora abbiamo scoperto una verità, nel fatto che la nostra carissima Xenobia è parecchio innamorata del nostro Reinardo, ma adesso sta a voi. Abbiamo già fatto questo, è il momento di andare oltre o vogliamo seguire un'altra strada? Vi leggo entrambi. Per Lapino, persino se Lapino non era certo il tipo, avrebbe potuto inventarsi qualche schema intelligente. Andiamo dal nostro Lapino stavolta? Va bene, andiamo dal nostro Lapino.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the mad rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he
Coniglio
did not
pazzo.
exactly own.
Che aveva
Lapino
venduto un
always
Pegasus
wiggled out
non
of trouble,
suo.
given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel
Mi ricordavo questa
spy.
cosa.
If the fleet reached him first, they'd
Fa
string
il
him up for
buono, va
that.
bene.
Never mind the winged horse.
Non mi ricordavo sta cosa del Pegasus. Aveva venduto un Pegasus non suo.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen the
Non aveva
winged
rubato un
horse.
cavallo
He'd
all'altro, l'aveva
only
solo
sold it.
venduto. E certo,
Wait.
io...
Where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Il motivo corrente salva la Pina. Andiamo a salvare il nostro amico. Posso fare qualcosa? No, non ho ancora il materiale, tanto perché me lo dice, però ok. È vero che devo... Ah.
Imagine if you built a house of one of these things. Oh, that would be amazing. It would be like having a boat.
Va bene, ok. E dove ci sta portando? Stiamo superando tanti quei punti bellissimi di esperienza, no? Non mi dire così.
People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Renato had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the ravens caw about the Emperor's new taste in ritual
Sui
sacrifice.
nuovi gusti dell'imperatore, adesso l'imperatore mangia le cose.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
Questi
The
commenti.
village looked so peaceful. Were the villagers hiding somewhere? Of course not. No matter how much he searched, he would only find ravens here.
Allora, però posso? Sta però lasciando... Ok. Posso fare ancora qualcosa? Ah, ma perché ne ho 2 di punti abilità. Allora,
Nice. That could be useful.
perfetto. Mio, mio.
Oh, he really wasn't making a dent in those shields.
Ma non mi ricordo. Ah, non mi ricordo come si aggancia. Ho sbagliato. Perché per togliere lo scudo dov'è? Lanciargli i corvi. Ho sbagliato. Che bello! Ah, ok, così faccio questo, ok. Ah, ok. Forse ce l'ho fatta?
Those sheaves were really very well made, weren't they?
Ah. Via. Dai. Ok. Oh, ce l'ho fatta! Per puro... Aspetta, calma. È tutta questione di tattica. Ah, ok, finché non riesco... Dai, attaccami! No! Non
Bye
sono
bye,
riuscito.
life, he thought. Hello, emptiness.
Ah, sbagliato. Devo ricordarmi come si... Ah, Ferra con X, ok. A posto. Posso farcela adesso. Questo è qua. No. Perfetto. Ho ripreso controllo della sito.
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they
Forse perché hanno
sometimes
voluto far
forgot to
così.
interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Adesso ho paura che i corvi l'abbiano mangiato
It
di
was
già.
good to practice your moves, thought Renato. Keeps you limber.
Forziere, forziere, prima forziere. Lapino può aspettare 2 secondi. Ok, vita piena di nuovo, perfetto. Ora altro combattimento. Ricollisco. No, dai, l'hai voltata nella parte sbagliata. Presto! No! Madonna, Madonna. Senza la cosa dei cieli sono complicati.
Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Una pulce sulla schiena. Che sul pensiero. No, non voglio pulci. Allora, quella porta non la posso ancora aprire, quindi ci attacchiamo al ciuffolo. Perfetto. Cure, and cure. Datemi cibo, qualsiasi cosa. Eccolo Lapino, è vivo!
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached
Insanguinato.
Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable
Zenobia,
people,
non
actually,
Zenobia,
for
anch'io.
weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia.
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter?
Figlia
That would be
adottiva,
worth
ricordo,
it.
perché l'imperatore è
It
un
would be
rospone.
nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him.
On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Ok, adesso abbiamo due cose completamente diverse. O almeno. Siamo con Lapino stavolta, quindi c'è qualcosa di diverso. Allora, possiamo andare a cercare di... Stavolta rapiamo la gnocca, ce ne freghiamo altamente del nucleo. Stavolta gnoccolona, andiamo dalla gnocca.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's
Amica.
best
Oh.
friend in Sword Fu School. And you're
Che
still
carini.
mad for her. The rabbit reminded him.
The rabbit had a point, and Renato had a feeling she'd want to see him again. Who knows what could happen between the two of them this time around?
She knows all his plans, chuckled the master spy.
Ok.
She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
Che comunque andiamo alla gnocca, che è un generale di quelli forti, quindi è anche maga e tutto il
The
resto.
city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Vero.
This one contained nothing but unmatched gloves
È qualcosa di più utile.
and something more useful.
Più che altro che adesso noi sappiamo che Zenobia ci ama. e noi ricambiamo un botto il suo amore. Ah, tutti morti, corvi, conigli soldato, quello che era Peter, ma Peter è esploso. Che paura!
That had gone rather well, actually.
Ok. Beh no, calma. Abbiamo la possibilità di scattare. Mi sono fatta malissimo, però. Eccolo Lapino.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lapino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire,
Vecchio rospo
Lapino
cieco.
dressing as an old blind toad, and Renardo
In un
hiding
cocomero
inside a
mostruoso.
monstrous
Scusami.
watermelon.
What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renardo.
Tutto. Allora, possiamo attuare il piano di Lapino, cioè oca, rete, fuoco, rospo e cocomero. Oppure, senti, niente idee strampalate. È sempre un piano veramente cretino. Dovrebbe essere l'intelligente fra i due. Anguria!
Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lapino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Sento che...
Not quite enough, thought Renardo.
Intanto prendiamo cure. Grazie, gioco. Ah, sì. Acquista. Così facciamo più danni. Ho sbagliato. No, si è spostato. Perfetto. Ho sbagliato alla grande, santo cielo. Ok, ecco Lapino con il cocomero. Aspetta, Lapino, fammi prima prendere un
Renardo
po'
felt dubious about the
di...
whole
Dubbio su
plan.
tutto il piano.
With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Lapino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran
Trovo
off
di
after the
Zenobia
geese,
costruito
the
le
net
ocche, la
dropped,
rete
and Renardo
cadde e
jumped
erano
out of the
uscito il
watermelon and
cocomero
put his sword to
gigante.
Zenobia's throat.
Renardo, she said. Are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my
Sacca
favorite.
di velluto.
You look stupid in velvet. Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style?
Ah, get a room, you two, said Lapino, probably sensing the chemistry.
But the fleet was coming on fast, so they took Zenobia east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter.
Renardo was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him?
Ok. Allora, possiamo convincerla con i sentimenti, senza bisogno di andare da inquisitori, oppure dagli inquisitori, come avevamo prestabilito. Oppure gli facciamo il flirt, in pratica. Inquisitori, va bene.
Ah, Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah,
È
she left
scappata.
the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her.
Ok, inseguiamo la gnocca. È scappata. Beh, intanto lei è scappata. Ci ha fregato.
Cats can run
Capitolo
faster,
3, ciao, devo
but
andare.
foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase.
Mettetevi una stanza voi due. Sì, io vorrei inseguire Zenobia.
Sometimes, Renato really hated inanimate objects.
Aia. Bisogno di cura,
Renato
punto di
wondered
vita.
what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Meglio non saltare giù, me l'hai nato magari. Non c'ho voglia di ripartire dal coso di controllo. Grazie per tutti questi materiali, però.
He wasn't that good. Yet.
Infatti mi sembrava no, fermi. Mi difenderò con le unghie e con i denti. Questi 21 di vita non me li
He was closing
togliete.
on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his.
Niente, non mi vogliono dare la vita.
How could he have let her escape? Why hadn't he shackled her? Renato wasn't used to being on this side of the whole prisoner-jailer thing.
Non è mai stato in quella posizione.
A crafting bench? What kind of sword could he make now?
Ah, posso migliorarla, ok. Abbastanza, un pochino, un pochino. Però lo capisco, questo metto. Oh, no, non energia. Mi serve vita. Oh no, quello che esplode. I corvi esplosivi. Quando sono colpiti o lanciati esplodono pochi secondi. Uso il tuo vantaggio. di vita, mi serve sta vita, gioco.
Renato reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path.
No,
When
zoppicava.
she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. You're enjoying this a little too much. She said, shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans.
All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Renato about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her.
Immagino
Talk
che
to her.
invece di parlarle, noi continueremo col piano originale, sì? Proviamo a parlarle. Oh, please. No, e niente. Inquisitori.
As they reached the ruins, Renato could see ravens everywhere, searching for the rebel base. They'd have to hide the Farfarer or go on foot. What if we get separated? Asked Lapino, for once
Ci
thinking ahead.
separiamo, ok?
I'll show you a map to the base. Renato told Lapino.
Renato, don't do this, said Zenobia. We were friends once. We...
Shut it, witch, or I'll shackle your mouth too, said Lapino.
And then, a few moments later, they touched down.
Ok, fanno strade separate per non far rivelare la base segreta dei ribelli.
As Lapino pulled
spasso
Zenobia
con
off
il
the
gatto.
Farfarer, Renato readied himself for the battle ahead.
I'm sorry I nicked your jacket, she said. It's just... Oh, God. It's stupid, but... It smelled like you. What? He said, confused. Then...
Allora che
Why
maliziosino
didn't you
lui.
ride? Why didn't you far speak? Oh, save the romantic nostalgia. Let's go! Shrieked Lapino. So Renato launched himself down the path to the secret base.
Ma mi sta
Renato
dando
checked to make
niente.
sure his sword was still working.
Oh,
Yep.
10 di salute, sì. Un altro pochino. Non voglio combattere con vento. E ti pareva. Vabbè dai, meglio così. Almeno ricomincia vita piena. Dai! No, 62, vabbè, meglio di niente. Sto giocando male. E ti pareva.
I should have done a barrel roll.
Avrei dovuto rotolare
dai.
questo mentre moriva. No. Troppo lontano. No, ci provare. Meglio.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, I thought.
Dai. Sì, grazie per l'energia. Mi può sempre servire, però mi servirebbe più la vita. Oh, grazie.
boys! Caught the lead, Raven.
No. Perfetto.
Renato had misgivings. It had been Lapino's idea to capture Zenobia. Lapino who'd guessed she'd run to the outpost. There was something wrong with the way none of Lapino's plans had gone wrong yet. It wasn't like him.
È andato tutto bene. È andato tutto fin troppo bene con Lapino.
His mother had never let him wave his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that.
Cosa? Le gaspe cosa?
Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Così. Cagate. Ah, non sono sceso più. Vabbè.
What's there?
Il forzierino bello, ecco cosa c'è. Volevo tornare a un... il banco di lavoro, esatto.
They caught their breath. It's beautiful, she said, looking at the ruins. This used to be the library of Ubar, he said. Before your father's ravens smashed it. Do we have to talk politics? She asked.
Oh.
That's not how I want to remember you, she said with an odd, wistful look on her face. She was as beautiful as she'd ever been, and as brave. Lapino huffed. They got back on the trail.
No, alla fine è con noi, non ce la traditi. È vero, non posso entrare qui. Sbuffa, ma è con noi. Aia. Ah, non è vero che l'ho ucciso, però ok. Va bene tutto. Va
I
bene
hoped
tutto.
his mother wasn't watching.
È indistruttibile questo vaso? Ma scusami. Ma... Ah, ok. Vaso super indistruttibile. Dai. Ah. Dai. Non ci credo. Ok, dai, ci sto riprendendo la mano.
That is how we do it, said Renato to himself.
Scherzi a parte, è veramente forte lui comunque. Magari non facendo cavolate, Frenchy. Tipo, magari.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Madonna. Sto subito.
If only he had some way to break the ice. Or convince it he was a friend.
No, sono solo io e te, signor Corvetto. Down. Eccoci alla base dei ribelli.
As they made their way to the secret rebel base, Renato felt strange. Zenobia was his prisoner, yet somehow she felt more like an old friend. He wanted to tell her all his secrets.
Oh,
but suddenly,
carino.
the ruins lit up with thousands of fireworks. There was a thunderous roar and dust rose. The caves were collapsing. The caves? You've been playing me? Renato said, and he stared at Zenobia.
I'm sorry, she said, and she seemed almost embarrassed. Then, everything went dark.
When Renato came to, he had a terrible headache. Also, Zenobia's sword
Colpo di scena.
in his throat. And her shackles were gone. So was Lapino. The terrible thing is, he said, I really have missed you. Now that we've destroyed the rebellion, would you consider becoming an advisor to the Emperor's daughter?
I'm no one's servant. Everybody serves. Even if it's only destiny. I like to choose my own destinies, he said.
The whole point of a destiny is you can't choose. Oh, never mind, she said. Look, if I see you again, I'll have to kill you.
He watched her ship soar away. He would see her again, he decided. Even if he had to fight his way across the entire fleet.
E niente, adesso si va contro la flotta. Chissà cosa ci porterà questo finale. A quale verità?
The Imperial fleet was cleaning up the few rebel remnants.
For only a moment, he thought about running. Ah, but heroes don't run, even when the world is against them.
Oh.
Even when their cause is hopeless, and their efforts futile, and pointless, and useless, and death painful, and guaranteed. He's decided to stop thinking for a while.
Uccidi l'imperatore.
Sometimes, all you know
È quello che
is
sai.
what you know. You know?
Sì. No. Sbagliato. Stavo ballando il tango con quel Raven. Stavo ballando il tango con quel povero corvetto.
Renato felt ready to take on new powers.
I nuovi poteri dopo, aspettiamo, adesso dobbiamo andare avanti e prendere vita, visto che come al solito non ho niente. Non me ne ricordavo così tirchio il gioco sulle cure, a un certo punto non dico lanciarle, un paio, giusto un paio, ne voglio 30.000, un paio di cure. Adesso cominciano a fare i tirchi.
There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lessons. With an address.
Dei balalaika, scusa. Io... No, il vero problema sono loro.
Renata felt a little better.
Un po' meglio, per forza c'è dato finalmente delle cure. Dopo quanti cassoni. Che meraviglia. No, dai. Ci provate. Che palle. No,
I guess
dai.
now I find out what's next, he thought.
Mamma mia. Allora. Subito tu. Vai via. Poi tu. Non tu. E fai lanciare i tuoi...
And I was just getting warmed up, he thought.
Renata's
mia.
arm was sore, his armor wet with raven blood. He was tired of death. But death was not yet tired of him. The rebels were losing. Badly. In some other universe, Renato thought, he and Zenobia had left Sword Fu School together, taken other names and sailed off into the mists.
Oh.
But not this Zenobia. And not him. For him, there was nothing to do but forge ahead. Kill the Emperor and end this.
What else could you hook?
Dai. Gioco. Please. Dai. Non so quanto... Presto saremo ancora più forti, però. No. Sì. Dai. Ok, uno con lo scudo è andato. No. Mi hai evocato uno scorpietto, grazie. Ciao amico. Ah, son vista brutta qua, me la son vista bruttina. Dai, piccicati. Sta lì a fare le Spider-Man che non gli funzionano le cose.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Forse. Oh no. Ah, devo uccidere gli incantatori perché curano. Non ricordavo così tanta varietà comunque. Dai. Ok, posso Tanto combattere normalmente. Uh.
At last, he reached the Emperor's ship. Zenobia was there. Why'd you have to come back? She said, guess I'm just serving my destiny. He shrugged. You don't even know what that word means, she said. Do you ever wonder if things have been different all the time? She said, and drew her sword. In the end, Bernardo lay bleeding out on the deck. Zenobia sat by his side, upset. What are you so upset about? He asked. You wouldn't understand. Why? Why didn't you tell me you were going to leave school? I was afraid you'd convince me not to. I guess I'll have to buy you a drink in the halls of the Valiant then, he told her. And then he was gone. Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying
Non
away
abbiamo
from
scoperto
burning
una nuova
Lun-Mar.
verità.
Had he lived that adventure?
Solo fatto un altro finale.
Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing
Ma
him
sono
a
tutti
different
diversi
way.
modi in cui sono
He
morto
could die
miseramente grazie al
miserably.
mio libro.
Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. And he hadn't learned anything new this time.
Ma
He'd
la
done the same thing twice, yet
verità su
expected a
Zenobia
different
l'abbiamo
outcome.
già. Ce l'abbiamo già la sua verità.
But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple
dico
had
col
risen out of
cuoricino in
empty
mano.
desert. The Emperor had
La
brought the
verità su
Sky
Zenobia
Ripper
l'abbiamo
pieces
già.
up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could
Quindi
this be
forse
where
non
the
è tutta la
Iblis stone
storia.
was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Lupino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
No, che lei ci ama. Quella è la sua verità e quella non cambia. No, non muore, sempre. Abbiamo fatto delle scelte sbagliate. Andiamo nel tempio deserto.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And
Non
so,
più inquietante.
Bernardo went ostrich hunting.
Caccia di struzzi.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A
Una
stone
pietra che
that
dirò
ate
alle
souls,
anime.
a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now. Drawn up from the deeps by
Che
the
bello.
Emperor's horrific rituals. Renato distrusted doors that opened automatically, especially after being buried for millennia. Was this some sort of
Che si apre
trap?
automaticamente.
Oh, what does the fox say? Asked one raven. Another one called back, "Oh, I'm dying!" And they both laughed hysterically.
Oh, vuoi dire una riga facile? Perché era troppo bello, perché stavi a ridere.
"I think this is yours," said Renato, but he couldn't hear his enemy's answer.
The ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still
Ingrattiamolo
searching for a way
frustrati.
in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Ma ridi un po', poi dici di me. Mamma mia.
That would come in handy in a pinch.
No. Mi ha fatto morire da ridere, era bellissimo. Uccidilo subito. No, Mary. Merda, sta diventando più difficile.
Wallabies, he thought. Why did it have to be wallabies?
Va bene. Va bene. Scusate, ma sono un attimo.
Nothing
Ok.
gets your blood pumping like a bit of killing.
Mamma mia. La sto vedendo sempre più brutta. Continuano a non darmi le cure. Non è possibile se ho perso 4 vasi. Uno di energia. Grazie. Però. Oh, è vero, non ho la spada giusta ancora.
He felt like Tarzan.
Devo stare attenta. Palle di fuoco, giustamente. Ce le ho evitate fino adesso le palle di fuoco, ma ho rischiato di pararle qua tutte insieme. No, grazie, veramente della salute. Come si sono ricordati che possono curarmi in questo gioco.
Once, he found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
Oh, posso? Ma lancia sto corvo! Ma dai!
But there were still so many games to play, Bernardo thought as he died.
Sì. Yes. Bene, appena mi trovo il problema di quelli con lo scudo, comincio a combattere decentemente. Tranne fare cagate come questa, tipo. Dico, giocando
The
recentemente
Ravens
cosa
at least
succede
could not get
quando
past this
danno?
point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with
Perché non
tomb
sto attenta,
raiders.
ovviamente. Giro giro tondo. Guarda che giro, guarda che giro, guarda che giro.
Good thing Renato didn't have vertigo.
Ok, aspettiamo. Dai, ho aspettato che... Ho aspettato il momento anche giusto, ho preso comunque danno. Fateci. Eccola
It
la
was a
pietra.
stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. Look to the core, said the stone anxiously.
Con il microfono tipo sulle labbra, però ok. Però è bellissimo che lui fa le voci di tutti. Andiamo a morire prendendo la pietra. Ok. Prendiamo il nucleo.
The stone bothered him. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on board only if he could freelance.
The stone felt a bit clingy. The sage Calaveras had told him where to find the Sky Ripper, a weapon capable of challenging the gods. Even without its armature, the core would still possess great power.
He would go there. The moment he landed the Farfarer, Renato had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He
Non
frowned.
chiamarla gattaccia, non
Wait a
sai
minute.
tutto.
He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Food School
Le verità
together.
non si possono
They'd never been
cambiare.
lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself, except the biggest one, that she was the Emperor's daughter. No, kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late.
No, non è vero che la prima volta non lo raggiunge, Cazzo. Ah, è vero che con questo ruba vita. No, non è vero che finge di amarci. Non finge di amarci.
There was something sour in the air.
Finge.
Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Oh.
He wished there were more pylons he could use the hook on. He really needed to construct additional pylons.
Sì, però ti attacchi, Reynardo, amore mio? Grazie.
The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm.
È vero, lo ruba vita.
Whispered the stone. The core will kill you. Are you afraid of it? No, don't be ridiculous. It chuckled. But it's unstable. It's poison if you carry it, and if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Reynardo did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards.
Non mi fido delle
This
pietre.
couldn't be good for global warming.
Ok. Ah, ok. Il fastidio è andato via. No, non è tornato. Uccidi sto coso. Ok. Oh no. Ok, non ha potenziato nessuno. Mi devo preoccupare un pochino di meno, quello.
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical. No, it's too much power. We'll rip a hole in space and time.
He had a sudden vision of
Sì, ma dobbiamo cercare comunque di trovare le verità, non di fare tutti i
finali,
finali, sono 24.
That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out.
When Reynardo came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent.
I can't hear you,
He sang out, and
you.
it didn't answer. Ha, he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power
Di questo ne ho
of
già fatti
mind.
tutti, ma
He
tutte
felt
24 le
invincible.
live per
It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he?
Poi in realtà non ci voleva un'ora per ognuno. Solo per i 4 più importanti, ma quelli ok. Andiamo a combattere o andiamo a chiedere agli scienziati?
As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus, Reynardo could see tiny sparks in the blackness that
Che
was the
dovrebbero
Iblis
cercare
stone.
gli scienziati.
As if somewhere within it, the core was still spitting out
Dovresti
energy,
essere un po'
which
meno.
the Iblis stone sucked in hungrily.
You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Reynardo. Well, the scientists would explain it all. See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked
Non
out.
pensiamoci troppo
That's what it
bene.
meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the odd makers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. Oh dear, he was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he?
No. Sì, ma vedi che a volte non lo raggiunge, che palle. Palle, palle, palle. L'ho detto.
Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down.
Non guardare in giù. E sono io. Mio. Mio. Tutto mio. Ah no, ancora ruba vita. Ok, ok. Sono tornata indietro, dai. Sbagliato, scusate. Avevo perso l'orientamento per un attimo.
Bernardo had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another. Bernardo wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
Si chiese se stesso del futuro avesse commissionato questi patti. Ma dai, ci sono delle cose bellissime e non le commentate. Beh, aiuto. Ah, la devo essere di qua. Ok, scusate. Non avevo vista la piattaforma. Come tutte sono meravigliose. Adoro questo gioco. Lo adoro.
The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Bernardo was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless.
Carina sta cosa. Ha delle chicchette questo giochino che guarda, non ricordavo alcune di queste. L'ho giocato tanto tempo fa. Credo quando più o meno iniziai a fare le live. Ma solo lui. Ma solo lui. Ti dico solo che niente come sembra. Come sembra benissimo che io sto morendo perché sono distratta a voler cercare di portare ordine nella mente. Perché qua qualcuno è stato deviato, non ha capito ancora. Ma io porterò alla luce queste verità.
We'll
Sempre
always have
Seconda.
Paris, he thought.
Avevo sempre Parigi,
Then he
scusa,
died.
perché cosa c'è Parigi? Vabbè. Ok, da un attimo di concentrazione. E invece io mi affiderei a Zenobia. Prendilo! Oh, ok, ok. Perché l'ho mancato?
Bernardo had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
I believe in the love. A parte che la Pino non se era scappato nell'altro finale, quindi la Pino ci ha lasciato a morire, mentre che se no almeno c'è stata a fianco.
The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky Ripper, explained Renato. No more feed me blood and souls.
But the core is not an unlimited energy source,
Said one toad. Another said,
there's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone. The stone doesn't actually
No,
feed
nella
on
prima siamo
souls,
morti noi.
claimed a
Abbiamo fatto
third.
esplodere
but
tutto.
on pain
Anzi,
of
in
killing
uno si è
your
ammazzata
sentient
lei e
being.
qua ci ha ammazzato.
If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload.
This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
Ma secondo me ti ricordi male, Zenobia nel primo si è ammazzata lei. Si è fatta diventare di ghiaccio davanti a lui. Nell'altro, cioè, ma quest'altro che abbiamo appena fatto ci si è ammazzata. Adesso, boh. Quindi, montagna o ribellione? No, è morta. Ma no, nel primo è morta.
The one thing he
Mamma mia.
understood from all the toad arguments.
Che fatica.
Maybe the stone did not feed on blood, or souls, or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him. If he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Ibla stone without being taken over by its evil. The mountains. He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there. Unfortunately, the mountains were not empty. There
E
were
niente,
ravens
niente montagne desolate.
everywhere.
Montagne
No
con i
matter.
corvi.
He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry.
Parata, schivata, colpo,
Parry,
respiro.
dodge, slash, and breathe.
Oh, nuova spada.
Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it, not on the blood or the raven's core as they died. Ah, it was working. He wasn't feeling those dark jolts of eldritch energy. He wasn't feeding the Iblis stone.
No, lasciatemi stare.
No one could beat Renato at hot potato.
Patata bollente. Madonna.
There was an inscription. Praise the sun.
Lo sapevo. Speravo venisse questa citazione. Speravo venisse questa citazione. Oh, dai. Non avete sentito la citazione?
The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and breathe. It was all so simple, wasn't it? But something was missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Wasn't this near where Calaveras lived? The sage would help him figure it all out.
Ok, andiamo da Calaveras. Ok. Andiamo dal saggio,
What was
presto.
really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
Presto. Ho sbagliato, volevo attaccare. Ma perché il tasto per attaccare? Anche quello per interagire. Grazie signorina, avete fatto il vostro
The
mestiere.
Iblis Stone, silenced by the Sky Ripper's core, had given Renato enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Renato was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
Ok. Eccolo il saggio.
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. Do you fix souls or only artifacts? He asked the sage.
Does your soul need fixing?
Asked the sage.
Oh.
I've been killing a lot of ravens lately, he told the sage.
You're a fox,
Said Calaveras.
and to kill birds is part of your nature. You should take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly?
It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child.
There it was, the dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar, and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready.
He was ready.
Ah, con che tono l'ha detto? Cioè, scusami.
Renato had it all squared away in his head.
He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret. But the victims had spoken to Renato.
I
The
fantasmi
ghosts
avevano
had
parlato.
spoken. No. No anger. Renato could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Renato would just be one with everything. The Emperor would
Dai.
die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
Mi manca quando avevamo la squarciacieli. È tutto più facile.
There had to be something useful in these things, didn't there?
Esatto, ci dovrebbe essere qualcosa di utile da quello che ho rubavita, però. Mi serve energia, mi serve vita. Questo è il gioco che mi sta prendendo per qualcosa. Per qualcosa che non so. Accetto la mia punizione, gioco, qualunque essa sia a sto punto. Mi puoi dare le cose che mi servono.
Shall we dance? Could the lead raven?
Avevo fatto il parry. Ma non me l'ha preso. Dai! Via, 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 via. Corri, 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 corri. Perfetto, via.
But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. He must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
Renato wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges.
Se non
than
costasse
stairs.
meno costruire.
He'd once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his
Un
ship.
giorno prenderò in faccia queste palle di fuoco. E
What was
forse
his
me lo
name
meriterò. Che bello questa cosa di che si accendono quando passi. Oh, ci siamo trovati subito il problema. Perfetto. Vai via. Ok. Che belle le musiche. Che belle.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renado's head as it rolled around the deck and died.
And just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future when your
Un'altra verità
destinies
l'abbiamo
would
trovata, ma non era
branch.
quella che volevo
He had
trovare oggi.
failed and died 3 times, but he learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Speravo di prendere la verità sulla Pino. Speravo di prendere assolutamente la verità sulla Pino. Non sulla pietra subito, però. Meglio se la siamo tolta, anche perché poi c'è la. Ce la fa vedere su chi sono le verità. Io non voglio guidarvi. Aspetta, che cavolo, non mi ricordo cosa facevo tanto finale. Sono veramente 24? Mi ricordo. Sì, 24, allora mi ricordavo bene. Però dai, siamo a metà strada. A parte che io andrei in cose veramente già fatte, cioè, quindi è bello seguire le vostre cose, vedere dove andiamo con voi. Però è bellissimo questo gioco, è veramente bello, ogni volta mi emoziona. Perché non mi ricordo esattamente come finisce. È passato veramente un botto di tempo l'ultima volta che l'ho fatto. Scusate, sentivo questa bellissima musica comunque, domani continuiamo. Cercheremo di andare nell'altro finale. Chissà, magari o ne faremo uno che non ci porterà a niente se non a completismo o a un'altra verità. Vediamo poi domani che cosa combiniamo tutti insieme. Comunque veramente lo consiglio a un sacco di persone questo giochino se non l'avete ancora giocato. Adesso non mi ricordo quant'è su Steam, credo sui 20 euro. Continuo a sentire questa cosa, mi sento. È bruttissimo. A parte che le mie scelte sarebbero ovvie. Io non voglio fare scelte ovvie, se no non farei scegliere a voi. Ciao belli, ciao patatoni, ciao 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 ciao.